AITA for refusing to pay for my sister's husband's surgery with my inheritance, college money. Context: my sister, F27, and I, 18F, lost her dad a year ago. He was my only parent. Mom was never in mine or my sister's life. Dad left money, inheritance, for me and sister, and she used her inheritance to get new cars and renovate her house. I live with my aunt right now cause my brother-in-law didn't let me stay with my sister. I'm planning on using my inheritance money to pay for college tuition. I've always wanted to be doctor but haven't decided which branch yet. My sister and I haven't been close. It started after she got married to her chronically ill husband, who was allowed to make backhanded comments about that and mock his illness and make a scene at his funeral. Only because he's ill and shouldn't be held accountable for his behavior. I've distanced myself, but my sister kept visiting a lot lately, venting about my brother-in-law's condition. He's been in and out the hospital for heart problems and the need for a surgery. She brought up my inheritance money several times, but I end up cutting the conversation. She then straight up asked if I could help pay for her husband's surgery and she'd pay back in less than a year. I felt uneasy cause if I give her money from my inheritance, which is a large amount, then there's no guarantee she'll pay back before it's time to apply for college. I'm taking a year gap, but I know my sister can't pay back that much and I felt I was risking my future. I refused to help and she had to melt down at my aunt's house, calling me heartless, cruel with no empathy. She said that her husband's health should be a priority and I needed to help because education is nothing compared to someone's health, and asked if I'd be happy to see her as a widow and my nephew with no father. My aunt suggested others pay, but most of them cut my sister and her husband off. I argued that her husband's poor health isn't my fault after she kept blaming and guilt-tripping me. She kept crying, and although my aunt decided to stay out of it, she said that I should be prepared for permanent damage in my relationship with my sister if I don't help her now. She's been sending texts and pictures of her family telling me this is what I was saying no to: a happy, healthy family with a healthy husband and father. I cried and felt like I was being selfish, not good aunt and sister. I asked my friend and he said let them sell the cars and all the luxurious stuff they bought to afford the surgery, and warned me if I give them money I'll never get it back and may not be able to go to medical school. He said let them sell the cars and all the luxurious stuff they bought to afford the surgery, and warned me if I give them money I'll never get it back and may not be able to go to medical school. Your friend is correct. You'll never get the money back because sis isn't willing to give up her luxurious lifestyle. She chose how to spend her inheritance, didn't save for a rainy day, and isn't entitled to yours because of her poor financial planning. Auntie. Absolutely. She knew her husband was in poor health. The wise thing to have done was put money aside instead of buying luxuries that depreciate. She can't know how much you have, right? If you feel like it, donate the small sum you can manage to lose and tell her that you lost a lot of it in bad investments to get her off your back and keep the relationship with her. But, honestly, she's not entitled to anything you have. The manipulation is awful and you deserve to have your dreams. Do you really need them in your life? Not only did the sister not save for a rainy day, she spent all her inheritance knowing full well her husband was ill. For her now to turn around and say she said that her husband's health should be a priority and I needed to help because education is nothing compared to someone's health is utter bullshit. If her husband's health wasn't her priority, then it sure as shit isn't Top's responsibility now. Sister is toxic. Your auntie no contact would be the best for everyone. Live your life. Concentrate on getting an end-thought med school. Auntie, your sister is manipulating you. She received the same money you did. If her husband is chronically ill, then they should have saved that money for his care instead of spending it on luxury items. She probably always planned to spend her money and yours. Will refusing to give her the money damage your relationship with her? Probably. But do you really want to give up your future to preserve the relationship you have with her now? Because it sounds like a terrible one, and don't think that giving her this money would improve the relationship at all. Auntie, make backhanded comments about that and mock his illness and make a scene at his funeral. He had no respect for your father. Making scenes is not something that you do. Even at your enemy's funeral, she used her inheritance to get new cars and renovate her house. She had her money. She blew it. Education is nothing compared to someone's health, and asked if I'd be happy to see her as a widow and my nephew with no father. It's your education, not hers. Your bill is a complete stranger to you. You have no blood relation, I assume, and therefore no obligation. She's being selfish and entitled. If she had done none of the above and you refused, then you'd be duh. But after all this, she absolutely does not deserve a cent. Please don't sacrifice your education. She'd pay back in less than a year. If this is true, she should have no problem getting a loan from a bank. After all this, if you do end up giving her money, make her sell all her cars and collect collateral if possible. No one has mentioned that your bill would not let you stay with them when your dad died, but he's perfectly happy letting you take care of his family while you stay at the aunt's house. Please don't give these people any money. The man has been sick for some time. They should not have wasted the money your dad gifted them despite Bill being trash to dad. Just because they're family does not mean you have to have a relationship with your sister. Go be a doctor. Save many more lives than this one. You've got this. Good luck. But Op, how could you wish to see nephew made an orphan? Op is an orphan and sister was fine with Bill refusing her a home. So I feel like Op should keep that in mind. NTA, your sister's husband had poor health before you and your sister received your inheritances. Knowing this, they have made poor choices. Everything from being generally unlikable and rude to your father during his life to not supporting you by letting you live with them after your father passed away to spending their inheritance money on Renaults and cars, with the reasonable expectation that they would eventually experience a health crisis. I would also point out that they have conveyed that they will not be there for you in your time of need, living situation. All this to say that you need to look after yourself first. Guilt-free. Your aunt is right. This will permanently damage your relationship with your sister. My suspicion though is that your sister will always be reaching out to you for money, even more once you become a doctor, so establishing boundaries now will serve you well. Edit to add, it is really shitty of your sister to put this big, huge burden on your shoulders. You are only 18 years old and have recently lost your father and now need to make important decisions about your own future. This makes me more angry the more I think about it. How dare she put you in this position? I am a retired nurse with many health problems. If Op is in the US and has health insurance, the insurance will pay almost all the hospitalization costs and most other costs as well. Hospitals also have payment plans and will work with families on this. Back before I had Medicare, I had major surgery. With insurance through my husband's employer, I had only a couple of thousand out of pocket that I had to pay. If Op wants to help, she should require that she see the bills and the insurance coverage statements before she gives anything. While I empathize with the bill's condition, the couple give the vibe of being selfish manipulators. I can almost guarantee that Op would never get her money back. NTA 1. Your Bill was ill when your sister had her share of the inheritance. She chose not to use it for medical bills then or save it. Buying cars and home renovations could have waited. 2. Bill treated your dad poorly. Honestly, that alone would have made me go no contact with him and your sister. 3. You won't ever see that money again and you'll lose your chance to go to college and be debt-free. 4. It's your money and your sister isn't entitled to it anyways. If this was someone you were really close with who had no other options, that would be a little different. But you aren't close with her, and she had the money a year ago and chose not to put it towards her husband's health. If it's not important to her, why should it be important to you? Don't feel bad. The rest of your family has cut her off for a reason, and damaging this relationship doesn't seem like a major loss. TBCH. NTA Your friend is right. She can sell those cars or her house to get the money. She's wrong to try to guilt trip you into paying for her husband's surgery. She knew her husband was in ill health and still decided to spend her inheritance on house renovations and junk, and you're supposed to throw away your future for a guy who won't even let you stay at their house? Don't do it. But your aunt is right. This is going to ruin whatever existing relationship you have with your sister. But I wouldn't want a relationship with someone who's so manipulative. Yeah, if my husband was in desperate need of a surgery and we owned a house, despite how important home ownership is to me, I would sell that house in a heartbeat and downsize or find a rental until we can recover a down payment to buy again. Heck, I'd even move in with relatives or couch surf homeless for a while if I had to. Or a home equity line of credit could be an option if they're just looking for a loan like they asked from FROP. This is most important. Whenever family or friends ask for money, I will give an amount up to the point I'm willing to not see that money back. If it comes back, I am appreciative and will lend to that person again. If it doesn't come back, then I let it go but will not lend money again. And that max is what I can get rid of without messing with my finances or that would have given to charity anyway. But also only to people I like, who respect me at a decent level. I'd lend money to the friend who gave you this advice, but I'd never lend it to Sister or Bill. It's clear they don't respect you, and they are not living within their means. Either you cut them off now or you cut them off when she doesn't pay you back. I'd suggest cutting them off now so that you can start your adult life without the added stress of finances. A. If your sister would be able to pay you back within a year, then surely she'd be able to pay off the medical bills in a year the same way. Usually there's the option of a payment plan to pay off large bills in increments. I used a payment plan to pay off her bill from last year. Your dad left you and your sister inheritances. I'm assuming you both got the same amount. I can understand your sister being upset and wanting her husband to be healthy, but that's not the burden you put on your little sister. Also, if her husband hadn't been so rude to you in the past, I imagine you might be more inclined to help, at least a little bit. I mean, yeah, but also the sister did have money and she spent it all on luxury cars. I'm behind her renovating her home. Though, that sounds nice. The system is obviously terrible, but the sister is just as selfish, telling that her school doesn't matter. She can sell her cars. She can take out a loan, since she can apparently pay the entire sum of the money back within a year. Plus she seems to be a generally nasty person, if everyone has cut her off. Plus why would want to help this man who made fun of her dying dad? Fuck him, honestly. I say NTA. And though the US healthcare system sucks and is very unfair, in this case the real a-hole is the sister. NTA. Life is a series of choices. Your sister made choices what to do with her money. Their poor planning is not your emergency to bail them out. Plus, most hospitals set up payment plans for people that need assistance. Let her pay the hospital back for his surgery. Don't let her paint you out to be the villain in her life's drama. She can take a good look in the mirror. You won't get your money back. Don't let your sister set you back in life. You'll make a terrific doctor. Your friend is right on target. Your sister says you're putting education over family. Well, she's putting luxurious items over your education and her family. Let her figure it out and live your dreams. Your aunt is right that you should be prepared to do damage to your relationship, but you should probably consider if this is even a relationship worth saving if its existence contingent upon you abandoning your dreams. Good luck. She's been sending texts and pictures of her family telling me this is what I was saying no to, a happy healthy family with a healthy husband and father. I cried and felt like I was being selfish, not good aunt and sister. I think it's time to accept your relationship with your sister is done. The only way you keep in your life is conditional on you funding it and jeopardizing your own future. You're being guilted into giving up your future for a relationship, a family and choices you never made. And at 18, she knows what she is doing laying that on you. You're barely out of childhood. It's so manipulative and awful what she is doing. You'll never see that money, and not only that, you've got no security net without it. No parents to fall back on and support. I asked my friend and he said let them sell the cars and all the luxurious stuff they bought to afford the surgery and warn me if I give them money I'll never get it back and may not be able to go to medical school. Look at your real friend over here, someone whose relationship with you isn't conditional on you giving up your security for her own comfort. NTA. Don't give anything to her. Go to college. It sounds not nice, but your education is more important than the health of a person that put you on the street, because if you hadn't had an aunt you would be on the street for him. Plus you don't seem to have a wonderful relationship with your sister, as she approved to let you out of the house, so who actually cares if the relationship is ruined? There is not relationship, she only shows for money. Plus everyone else that could pay has cut them off. I think you can imagine why. Live your life. I'm sure you would be a wonderful doctor. Auntie A. But you sister sure is. Up to sister, you married your husband knowing that he has health problems. If your husband's health is so important to you, why on earth did you blow through your entire inheritance? Common sense would dictate that he would continue to have health problems and healthcare costs. Not only that, did you ever give a thought to your son? One day he might want to go to college. But apparently it was more important to you to blow through your inheritance than to think of your son too. Your poor money management skills are not my problem. If she has not done so already, tell her to get a job. She needs to learn how to take care of her family. I would go low contact to no contact with her, because she will hound you incessantly. You finish medical school and earn a good living and she will be there with her hand out. You know, down the road she will expect you to pay for your nephew's college. If you are able to later on and want to do it, do not ever let your sister know about it, because she will hound you for it. And never allow her access to any college fund you set up for him. Auntie A. If her husband's health was a priority, she shouldn't have spent her inheritance on cars and renovations. Even if her husband wasn't a total I would say the money is yours and pay for your college. But he is a total so definitely don't pay for his surgery. Also, you will never get that money back. Never. Your sister is saying that to try and get you to give it to her. If she doesn't have the money to pay for the surgery, where is this magical money coming from to pay you back? You give her this money, you won't get to go to college. Please don't do this to yourself. Tell her number. Auntie A. Please don't give them any money. Your sister is gaslighting you. She knew her husband was sick a year ago, and yet she still spent her inheritance on the things she wanted instead of saving it for her husband's obvious future medical expenses. Your education and future are important. Your dad left that money to you in order to set you up, since he wouldn't be around to help you when you needed it. You shouldn't have to struggle, or God forbid, incur student loan debt that hangs around your neck for the rest of your life, because your sister either didn't have the foresight or the wherewithal to plan ahead. Auntie A. At all. Please don't give away your money, because I can guarantee you that you will never see it again. They can sell one of their new cars or move to a smaller home if they need the money. You lost your dad, but your brother-in-law wouldn't let you live with them. Then he doesn't get to benefit from your money, especially as they have other options to pay for his treatment. Please hold fast and go live your best life. Auntie A. What your friend said is spot on. You'll never see that money again. You said your bill is chronically ill, so this wasn't a surprise, right? Your sister knew they would in all likelihood have significant medical costs, and she still spent her inheritance on cars and her house. That was her choice, and now she wants you to pay for it with your future? No way is that right. Auntie A. Instead of deciding to save some of her money knowing full well her husband is in ill health, that's her problem. She decided to buy new cars, etc., and that's her choice. You are using your money for your future, and she wants to take that away from you because her family should be more important to you. Spend your money on your future, and if she's that desperate she can sell her cars that she spent her money on. Auntie A. It's not a loan, BTW. It will be a gift. The gift of your father's hard work and the future of you, his daughter, to a man who disrespected him at every opportunity. No, girl, your dad deserves better than this. Have neither of them heard of health insurance? Many jobs offer health insurance. Is your sister employed? Can she get a job with health insurance? I mean, even a job at Walmart will have that, and boom, surgery covered. It's a seller's market right now for houses. She can sell her newly renovated house for a pretty penny, pay for the surgery, and rent like many other people. Your sister has options she's not willing to take because it's just easier to take your money.